Hi, everyone. We are live now. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Right. So containers is one of the most important technologies that we have to learn those days. It's the thing that's going to change the most our software development industry. So it's very important that you have the opportunity to learn about containers. So I asked Ruslan to come here to tell us, everything he knows about containers, and we're actually going to learn by doing it. So today is very important. So today we're going to do a webinar that's going to be a little bit different because we will do a workshop, right? So we actually you will work, right? So if you think you're just going to sit back and relax, no. You're going to work today with us. So you're actually going to go and learn about containers today. Okay, so let me introduce to you my guest here today is my good friend, Ruslan Synytsky. Ruslan is from Ukraine, and he now lives in Malaga in Spain, in a beautiful city. And Ruslan has been running Gelastic for many years. He was the founder of Gelastic, and he created all the technology around Gelastic. And Gelastic is a company that from the start, they bet on containers, and they built a whole company around containers. So hi, Ruslan.
Hello, Bruno. Thank you for your introduction. Yeah, I can say we collected a lot of experience related to containers, so we'll be happy to answer questions from the community, from people. So just let us know what you want to learn from our experience, for example, or ask questions that you have in mind. So hope we can cover all of them. Yeah.
Excellent. Very good. Very, very good. So you've been doing containers, and you've been doing containers with Java for several years. Why do you think that learning containers right now is important for Java developers?
Okay. So based on our experience, why we started to use containers, we figure out that they are more efficient compared to virtual machines, right? And it was like 5 or even 6 years ago. At that time, not many people knew about containers. So today, this technology is very popular. Maybe it's even overhyped. So to be honest, but anyway, traction is growing every month, and many companies are adopting containers inside their organizations. So why they do that? Again, first of all, do it to its efficiency. It manages resources in a better way, in much more efficient way. So you can save resources, you can save money, and yeah, first of all, resources and money. Second, very important, it increases speed of development processes. So you can do your job faster, you can do your job more efficient. And third one, it improves relations between people, between developers, and between ops guys. So peace is very important inside the company. Right. This is why it's important. And in addition, I can say that containers, they change best practices, they change approaches that people used in the past. So we see new methodologies are coming, new architecture is coming. So people started to think about microservices, like cloud-native applications, right? People started to deploy applications to different clouds. And in the past, it was okay, but not really easy task with containers. So the level of complexity is much lower. So containers help to keep peace in your mind.
Okay, that's very cool. And do you think that so let's just step back a little bit in terms of, you're talking about containers, but the containers are you said many cool things about microservice and architecture and all that, but do you think containers are like the next step for? Let's one thing first. How about cloud computing? Do you think containers is like the next step of cloud computing, or you can actually use containers without cloud, or cloud and containers are like together? How do you think those two technologies kind of work?
Okay, so today cloud is based mostly on virtual machines, right? So you order a virtual machine, you deploy it inside something, and even you provision containers inside virtual machines in the cloud. I'm talking about public cloud. So what I believe, my personal opinion and opinion of some experts that I work together, is that containers in the future, they will replace virtual machines at all. Today it's still impossible due to some technical limitations, but in the future they will definitely replace majority of workloads that replace majority of virtual machines that are used for applications. So today, think about it, like everyone talks about container, but still you deploy containers inside virtual machine. So in the future, you will be able to deploy containers on top of bare metal, or just buy one container from a cloud provider. So I do believe containers will upgrade the whole cloud industry.
Okay, actually, we did a little poll here in terms of who is using containers right now. So we have 22% already using containers in production, 44% using for testing and development, and 10% are using for experimentation. And well, yeah, so people are still voting. We're gonna give some time, but yes. Oh, all right. So let me. Yes, it's completely changing right now because more people are voting. All right, so if you're listening to us, there is a poll on the side here. Vote for what you think if you're using containers right now or not. That will help us tailor the talk for the things that you want to learn here. But yes, but we have about 40% of people are using for test or production, and about 40% do not use it yet. So yeah, it's still voting. People are still voting. So let's leave the chat for a little bit, voting here, and so we can have an idea a little bit better. So Ruslan, so you mentioned one interesting thing that you mentioned here. You mentioned microservice, right? So everyone is talking about microservices. What does microservice has to do with containers?
Okay, so microservice is a paradigm to build highly scalable, highly available applications. You decompose your logic into different pieces, like logical pieces, and you compose them. You connect them in a weak like relations. So if one microservice fails, your application can continue work. So maybe some functionality will not work, but the rest of functionality will continue to serve requests. So how containers are related to microservices? Containers is a like brick, like a basic piece. So container helps to build microservices because you can scale your microservices based on containers. Like you deploy logic inside a container, and then you can create like many containers. And you can build, let's say, one microservice based on like several or like hundreds of containers. And then you build another microservice, again, like based on hundreds of another kind of containers. Containers with another kind of logic inside. So containers is a technology that helps to build microservices, because with virtual machines, it will be much harder to do, or even on the bare metals, it will be harder.
Okay, all right. So, and why do you think that right now is a good time to learn containers? Because one thing that you told me in the past is that containers has been around for quite some time, right? But why now?
Because it penetrates many organizations. So as you can see, many people are already using it in production, right? And many are playing with this. So if you want to be, demanded on the market as a professional, I do recommend upgrading your knowledge, and I do recommend to understand how to use containers. At least, again, from my understanding, there are 3 levels of roles inside the organization, and you need to understand where you are. It will help you to understand what kind of level of experience you need to get. Because, for example, first level, just pure developers. Developers love to code, right? They hate to do administration. However, every developer needs an environment for his or her application, right? Like, and in the past, what you did, like, you probably, if you are working in a big organization, you go to sysadmin guys and you say, like, guys, I need a like virtual machine or like bare metal server, and you wait for like 2 weeks. It depends actually how your organization works, but it was not fast, and you actually don't control the whole process. You just get like virtual machine with something already installed inside. So today, developers can get much more control of things that are deployed inside the environment of application. Again, like pure developers, they need to know at least how to use containers and how to deploy applications with containers.
Mm-hmm.
So second role in organizations, it's some kind of like DevOps engineers or like full stack guys. So these guys are always in the middle between development and ops team. Mm-hmm. So they focus on automation stuff, on delivery of applications from development stage to production.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys should know how to use containers for continuous integration and continuous deployment pipelines, how to upgrade like old school pipelines, and how to benefit from this. So, and third role, just pure sysadmin guys, pure ops guys, usually they control like resources of the company, they control security, who can get access to specific regions, and so on. So these guys should know how to install, configure, manage, operate, and monitor container orchestration platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see, like there are 3 levels: like how to use, how to use for like simple application for deployment. Mm-hmm. Second, like how to use containers for deployment automation. And third one, like how to manage containers orchestration platforms.
Okay.
Of course, there are some kind of differences in different organizations. It depends on the size, but in general, from our experience, it looks like that.
Okay. All right. So let me quickly go here to the poll. So I'm gonna end the poll now, so we have like a snapshot of what people voted. So we have 19% is using in production, no, 20% in production, 20% for test development, 20% just experimenting. And then we have 11% that's only heard about it but not using, and then 33% that's I think that's the largest group, 33% that have not done anything with containers and want to learn more, right? So it's I think we have like 60% are using somehow containers. 20% using in production. Very congratulations to those using in production already. And about 40%, a little bit more, 45% of people are still don't know a lot about it and want to learn more. So we're gonna discuss here today, Ruslan. So that's your challenge, right? We gotta show cool things for people that are already doing it, and show how to get started for people that don't know yet. So how are we gonna do this, Ruslan?
We will start from simple things, and we'll go later to to more complex tasks. And right. I will prefer to get questions from the audience. We will. Then it will be more interesting and interactive. Yep.
But do you want to show something first? Do you want to answer the question? Because we have one question right now that is if you can reference a book to learn about containers. Do you know any book that you can suggest?
I always suggest to Google the information you need. There are so many different articles. It's really hard to find like one book with all needed information today. So it's better to follow like experts and to read their articles. Sometimes they are not very long, but they can be very, very informative. So okay. I recommend for just find information in internet.
Cool, excellent. And so just so you know, if you're watching here and you want to read a book, I did twist Ruslan's arm yesterday. And I got him to agree that he's going to provide a free course for containers for everyone here, right? So I'm gonna send you. We're gonna send you the email on how you can join this free online course about containers, because I think it's one of the most important things that you got to learn right now. So Ruslan, how about if we show a little bit on how to get started and what people can do, and how about we do like a real workshop and you walk through people so people can try out something right now. Can they do this?
Yeah, let's do.
Okay.
Let me share my screen.
No, don't share your screen yet. So here's how it's gonna work, guys. I'm gonna put here a link to all right. So I'm gonna put here on the page a link that will get you. Yeah, just do it right now. There's a link on the side, probably this side right here. There's a link to it, a button saying start now. That will get you a page that will not ask you credit card or anything. It's just gonna ask your email, and you're gonna start creating your own containers right now. Okay, so it's completely free, no cost at all for you. We're not gonna ask your credit card, anything like this. We're just gonna ask your email so you can confirm that your email is valid, and then it's gonna send you an email. So now Ruslan is gonna walk you through creating containers. So you can leave the screen here on the side so you can see what Ruslan is doing, but also open up the other screen, the other side, so you can actually do it right now. So it's gonna be a hands-on activity, right? Ruslan, can you press the button, you too, so you can share your screen, pressing the button, and then you can help them out step by step. How about this? Okay, so Ruslan is gonna share his screen, and he's gonna walk you through, and the idea is that you're gonna create your own containers. You're gonna see how you can scale containers, how you can create new containers, how you can create your own containers, everything for free. Remember, nothing. The whole idea is that you work on it. So you're going to start your own containers right now.
So first of all, I recommend go to Docker website and download Docker for your desktop. I'm using Mac, so I downloaded Docker for Mac, and we will use this for building some Docker images. So I will go through like basic things at the beginning. So how to get started specifically for applications? You need to have a middleware stack that is specifically designed to run Java application. It can be Tomcat, like Glassfish, or another kind of application server. And you need to pack it as a container. And the best way to start is to see how other people package this. So if you can see my screen, I'm right now at the GitHub repository of Tomcat, and it's official repo for Docker Hub. You can find here different versions of Tomcat, and we will work today with Tomcat 9. I choose, for example, this repo, and you can see I have here Docker file. So to start with containers, you need to prepare a Docker file. And after that, you will be able to build a container from this Docker file. Syntax is, do you hear me, Bruno?
I can hear you, yes. So I was just going to ask, so the Docker file is the file that describes how you create a container, right?
Exactly, yes. So what kind of things should be deployed inside a container? So if you read this, you can see it defines like environment variables. So it deploys some specific application stack and so on. It does some configuration. Usually, again, like developers hate to do this stuff. This is why I recommend to get ready to go Docker file. And there are many of them already in GitHub, in Docker Hub repo, or in some clouds. So after that, what you do, you clone this repo to your local computer, and you can see I already did it in the past, and I have like this git tomcat 9 grae 8. So, and you can see we have Docker file here. What we need to do for deployment of applications, there are like several ways, like at least couple ways to deploy application inside a container. The most simple one is to edit your Docker file and specify, let me show one more. Oops. And download your application which you built before. So you, in any case, if you are Java developer, if you are doing like Java applications, so you must build your WAR file before. So what I did here, I just download and put my application inside this container in this path, like web apps my app.war. So after that, I can build my container, and I just run this simple command docker build dot. So if you do like a new build, it will take a while. Let me show actually, because it uses cache. I will rename the name of my application. Yeah. Let's save it. Okay. Now we can build it.
Ruslan,
so,
yeah, the last. Oh, I think we just fixed it. No problem. Worry. Yes, the last line was behind the thing we weren't seeing, but now I think we fixed it. That's fine.
Yeah, the other line was simple, just docker build dot. So as you can see, we got this last step. We downloaded application and packaged this inside a container. So now we have container locally on your local desktop. So the next step will be tag your Docker container. It means like put some name for this Docker container. I use, for example, like RS Jelastic. It's my account name on Docker Hub, and application I will call it like my app in Tomcat, and tag will be latest. So what I need to do, I need copy ID of my container that I just built before, put it here, press button, done, quite easy. So now what I do, I push this Docker image. Actually, let's run this locally before we deploy this to the cloud. Let's check how it works locally. So how to do this? Quite simple. So you run the following command: docker run -i-p, and you define the port for your application. Right. Yep. We run this container now. Yeah. So Tomcat has been started, I believe, and we can check in the browser. Yeah, it's started. Now it's deploying only. One more second. For some reason it's slow. It was fast before. Yeah, you can see the logs of your application server. Yeah, now it's running. Now we can go to your web browser and print like localhost and specify the port. We define it for the Docker. And we should see now Tomcat. My laptop became slow for some reason, probably because I'm doing live streaming. Come on.
Yeah, that's okay. It's yeah, Tichani is saying that the screen is frozen, but I can see the screen fine.
Yeah, so now you can see this Tomcat, and let's go to our application, and the path was my application 2, right? So, and you can see I have like this hello world application. So difficult part was, like to prepare this Docker file. But if you use ready-to-go Docker files, it's quite easy to build and deploy applications locally. So what to do if you want to deploy your application to the cloud? So the next step, you need to push your image to the Docker Hub. And Docker Hub, it's a like store for many kind of Docker images. It's a public store. You can install your private if you need more security, but for the beginning, it's good enough. And how to do this? We need to call Docker push command. And I have this Docker push. Yeah, quite easy again. Docker push, and you just print name of your container. And you allow Docker to use your case. And after that, the local Docker daemon will push your image to remote Docker repository. So when it's done, you will be able to pull that image from different kind of providers and deploy to the cloud. So as you can see, we pushed the one of the layers, and the rest were already present at that image. So let's wait one more second, and we will switch to the cloud actually. So any questions so far? Let's discuss this point. Maybe there are some questions, because it's one of the major parts to start to work with containers.
Okay, Ruslan, it looks like your video is frozen for some reason. So maybe you should reload your page. Just reload the browser, and you have to reshare your screen.
I see. Okay, let me do that.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So Ruslan is yes. Thanks everyone. So if you notice it's frozen, let us know, like you did. And thank you. So Ruslan is restarting everything. Let's see if that works. Yes. All right. So thanks, Francisco, Ganesh, Paco, Francisco, Mikhail, Juan. So while we're waiting on Ruslan to reset everything, you might want to go ahead and click the button decide. And so that's going to ask your email, and then you just click on the email, and we'll check with you over the phone just to create your account. And so you can do this. So hopefully it's better now. I can see your screen, Ruslan. I just don't hear your voice. I think you have to unmute. Unless you're not speaking. Yes, unmute. Yes. Turn the microphone on. Yes, thank you. Perfect.
Sorry. All right. So at which point you lost me, guys?
Yeah, so I don't know. I think that the first, I think you're loading the page on the Tomcat page. I think that's when you're doing this.
I see. So what I did, let me repeat this. I run Docker locally, right? So I built Docker before, and after that, I want to run Docker locally. So just to test that my application is working and that everything is okay, right? So then there is a simple command like docker run -i-p, and you specify port at which you want to listen incoming request. And yep, and you can see, if you can see my screen, application server is up and running now, and now it's deploying applications. And I will go to local host 8080.
Okay, so basically, Ruslan, you are running a container in your machine, right?
Exactly.
So you're running a web server and a Java EE application on your laptop.
Exactly, yeah. So because usually we develop locally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you want to test your application locally before you deploy to like test
Cool.
environment or like in production. Like. So what I did, I just launched these containers locally with Docker daemon, and now I opened browser and I go to the port I specified before. So and we should see web server. Yeah, you can see like Apache Tomcat now.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. So, but now let's go to that path I specified. If you remember, it was like my app2, right? And I will see my application at this path. Okay, this is my application.
All right.
Got it, right? So after that, I don't know if you saw the point, but what I need to do before I move to the cloud, I need to push this Docker image to Docker Hub repository, where many containers are stored. So, and it's quite easy. You just print Docker push and specify name of your container. Press button push, and allow Docker daemon use your case. And after that, Docker daemon will push it to Hub repository.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. I mean, like as a first step, what kind of questions people might have, because it's important to understand before we go to the cloud. Like important to understand how to start.
Okay.
So any questions so far here, or everything was clear, or it's quite simple?
Yeah, I think so. So basically, as a like an overview, so you use a Docker to you use a Docker and in a Docker file to create a container, and on that container you use Tomcat and install an application on it. That's why you added the Docker file, and then you run that container locally. And now what you just did is you got that container. That container has everything you had. It has the application. It has all the configuration. It has Tomcat. It has everything inside it. And then you push the container to Docker Hub now. So now it's on the cloud, but it's just packaged on the cloud, right? It's not running on the cloud, right?
Exactly. Yes. So exactly, just prepared for the deployment to the cloud. Let's say.
Right. So there is an image in Docker Hub now that has everything installed inside it.
Yeah. So as the next step, if you want to deploy it to the cloud, you need to choose some kind of orchestration platform. So there are many of them, and today I will do a demo on Jelastic. So Jelastic is a container orchestration platform. It's a platform as a service and container as a service in one platform, actually. And there is a difference.
Yeah, before you continue right there. So guys, this is the time where you should have be clicking on the button on the side, and then register for the platform, because you can do what Ruslan is going to do now. You can do right now and learn how to do it. Again, it's completely free. The whole idea is that you learn it how to do those things, right? So just go ahead, click the button right now. It's going to send you an email, and you have to click on the email to activate your account. And once you do this, you're going to see that screen that Ruslan is showing to you right now. Is that right, Ruslan?
Yes, exactly. So it's a portal for developers where you can get started with containers and where you can learn. So it's I do believe it's very useful for people who want to understand how to use containers in the cloud. Okay, good. So let's move on, or should we wait?
No, go ahead. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Does anyone had any problem with this button on the side? If you had any problem, let us know. But we're just going to start, and you can follow along. Go ahead.
Good.
Man.
So next thing, we press button like create environment. And you can see there are several tabs. I will explain what they mean later, but there is one like Docker. and there is a big button like select container. So you press this button, and you go to search field, and you print name of your container. Mine was Elastic, my app in Tomcat, right? So, and after you find your container.
So wait a second, Ruslan. So now this container is the one that you just uploaded from on your command line?
Yes, exactly. It's exactly this container.
Okay, so the one you just run in your laptop, you upload it to the cloud. Now you're going to download it to your platform.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So I just choose again like this container, right? And after that, just press next button, print name. No, sorry, like Tomcat test. Let's say, right? And press create button. So that's it. Quite easy. We need to wait like a minute while platform downloads all this image, unpack, and run this image in the cloud. So while platform does it, just one more to repeat what I did. I just choose Docker tab, pressed select container tab. After that, I can print like any kind of image. There are many images on the public Docker Hub. For example, let's check what kind of Tomcats we have, because again, different organizations package and deploy to public Hub repo. So you can see many different kind of Tomcats. It's good, and at the same time, it brings some complexity, because if you choose a wrong like container template, so you might have some issues, because that container, for example, let's see default Tomcat. So that container might have specific variables, and sometimes you need to specify extra data for to be able to run this container successfully. Okay, but in general, if you package the application and you package it right, you will be able to deploy it without any issues. And specifically with Elastic, you can scale it easily as well, just by pressing buttons. Like now, I can deploy 4 containers. So, and I can choose load balancing here, select another kind of container, or use default load balancer that Elastic provide if you don't specify any. You can also define size for each container. Let's say like 10 gigabyte of RAM per each. It's very good for vertical scaling. For example, when your application needs more resources, so it can get from the same container. Again, like quite easy to understand, quite easy to deploy. There is another one actually button. You can choose different regions. So as you know, cloud providers offer ability to deploy to different countries, and it's important because your customers can be in different regions. So it will reduce the latency. Good. I do believe our container is almost ready. Yeah. Let's see. Oops. Yeah. So our application has been deployed.
Ruslan, there is a question. I think you just showed that, but Juan is asking how to specify a container resource like RAM. I think you just showed right there, right?
Yeah. Let me show again. So specifically in Elastic.
And so just like we're saying right now, some people are trying to run the Docker container. And they're getting a message saying that it's for billing accounts only. So we are actually fixing this. See, you should see if you see the yellow button. Show the yellow button on the top, Ruslan. The yellow button should say Promo Jug 2017 group, right? If it says Promo Jug 2017 group, then you should be able to access Docker, right? Because that's the whole objective is to have. If it doesn't say that, let me know, and we're gonna fix it. Okay.
Yes, because why? So specifically for Jack tour, we enable Docker for trials. We don't do that usually because people can use it for bad things, like to deploy like stuff that like mining and so on. Like so, still.
Okay, so they're saying that no, it doesn't. It doesn't. So I'm gonna fix the link so you guys can get the account correctly. Okay. All right. Okay. So there's something wrong with the link that I sent you. So that was probably my fault. I'm gonna fix it and get back to you in a minute.
So should I go and explain what we did and how it works?
Yes, Ruslan, just explain what you did, and then and then they can follow along on the Java. If you create a Java container, for example, they're only not going to be able to do the Docker one. But while you're doing this, I'm trying to fix on the back end.
Okay, so as you can see, I have my application already in this dashboard, and I can open in the browser. And yeah, I will get the same like Apache, right? And I will go to my app 2. And I see now the same Hello World application. So it means we successfully deployed application to the cloud. So it was not really hard, but now it is in the cloud. Good. That was quite simple exercise. So, but in reality, life is not as simple because you need to think about like availability, like auto-scaling, redeployment. For example, if you want to redeploy, you don't, obviously, on production, you don't want to have a downtime. So, and containers help to do this stuff, specifically containers orchestration platforms. So many of them provide out-of-the-box tools to, to implement, for example, horizontal scaling, automatic horizontal scaling. With Elastic, it's quite easy. You press button settings, and you go to auto horizontal scaling tab, and you add your trigger. And triggers can be based on CPU usage, memory usage, network, disk, and disk. Yeah. And you can define like thresholds. For example, please add scale up to 10 nodes when load is more than 80% at least 5 minutes, and remove nodes scale down to 1 if load is less than 10%. So by using this quite simple UI, you can implement quite complex auto-scaling algorithms. Good. Another point that I wanted to emphasize is the difference between containers as a service and platform as a service. So with what I showed just before, it's this kind of flow is used by container as a service platforms. It means like you need to package your container, you need to push it to hub repo, I mean like Docker Hub, and you need to deploy it directly from hub repo. So platform as a services provide ready-to-go prepackaged containers for different kind of stacks. And you can see here we have Java tab, and we have quite long list of ready-to-use, ready-to-go application servers. And we can choose, for example, Tomcat 9 just to repeat the same exercise, right? Like, and the same kind of experience you can get with scaling, just press buttons. And even for certified containers, we add load balancing layer, and you can choose different load balancing stacks as well. And you can define size per each container easily as well. So let's deploy our Tomcat prepackaged. And we can choose region as well here, as it was in the past. So let's create it. What will happen? The platform will create cluster for you of containers with, cluster of Tomcat servers inside containers. And Nginx will be like a load balancer. After that environment is ready, we can deploy our application inside. And there are different kind of application options to deploy applications. So you can deploy, you can upload your Word file to this dashboard. For example, I have local one. Yeah, let's say this one. Yep. Open. And yeah, my test environment, my test app. I just upload it. And it will be available now here, right? And after that, you will see in the drop down your target node. This Tomcat prepackaged, but we need to wait a little bit while it's creating. So, have you fixed the issue? Like with the link, were people able to log in inside, or it's still under the progress?
Okay, so let me quickly do some information here for everyone. So if you are having problems with the account, we figure out. So here, the URL that I put on the button, it has some extra fields in it that are messing up for some reason. We mess up with the URL. So I just put on the chat here on the side, right here. There is the new URL. I'm just going to put a couple of times here so you see it, right? But pay attention one thing. If you click at the previous URL and create an account, you have to click the new URL and create a new account with a different email, right? So if you're using Gmail, for example, you can put a dot anywhere in your email and we'll create as a new email account, for example, because Google ignored the dots. So you can say, if your email is my email, you can say my.email and Google recognizes the same thing. So you can do that and create a new account. Once you do this, it should show up in the top. It should show up the little button saying promo jug 2017 account. If that does not work, don't worry. I'm going to send you an email later today with all the instructions and we're going to fix this, okay? But so Ruslan, I don't want to interrupt everything here. I think you should continue. I just wanted to give you to everyone this advice. If you can recreate the account, something that we did wrong with the URL, you need to create a new account with a new email. Once you do that, you should get the promo jug 2017 account. Okay? If none of that works, I'll send you an email later today, and you can reply back to that email with your email account, and we're going to configure your account to have access to Docker. Okay, thanks, Ruslan. Sorry for that, guys.
Okay, so let's move on. We need still to wait while as you can see, we have one Nginx and one Tomcat ready, and two more are getting ready, and we will get them soon. So, but now I can show you another interesting thing. For example, if you got an experience, you deployed a Hello World application, and for example, as the next step, you want to deploy highly scalable cluster. Here in Gelastic, again, there are two ways. You can configure by yourself all things, how it interacts with orchestration platform, how it redeploys or deploys applications across many instances. But for example, with Gelastic, there is an option to go to clusters, right? And you choose, let's say, Glassfish. Like, did anyone try to install Glassfish cluster? It's a really hard task from my experience, but we prepared specific automation package. I will call it like demo, right? And you just press button install, and we will wait for a couple minutes to get it ready. So now, coming back to our previous environment, our prepackaged Tomcat with one container with Nginx and the 3 containers with Tomcat is ready. And it's just empty now, so nothing is deployed yet. Let's check it. Yeah, it's just empty Tomcat. But now I can deploy my Hello World application. I just press this button, and you can see now Tomcat prepackaged, and press it. And you can see there is an option to specify a delay between redeployments, between containers. So the platform will deploy to one container, it will wait like 30 seconds, and after that to deploy to another container, just to do sequential deployment. To speed up the whole process, I will specify 0, and I will leave this empty. This field empty. This field is designed to specify context of your application, but we want to deploy directly to the root. So now let's press button deploy. Okay, now we are deploying to our root context, Hello World applications. It will take about like 30 seconds, I believe. And after that, we will be able to check how it works. Any questions so far? I don't see the chat. Bruno, maybe there are some questions.
Yes. So Techan is just saying that who cannot register to the right group, send an email to tf@gelaz.com, and she will enable Docker for whoever could not do it. Okay. So yes, and I just put an offer on the side that the link is fixed. So I don't see any questions, Ruslan.
Okay, good. Good. It means everything clear or nothing.
Yes, no, that's fine. So Ruslan, one thing that you could show, maybe I know you're showing all the Docker things and everything, but maybe you could do the same demo that you did with Docker, but with a Java container. So because then people could actually follow that, and when they have Docker enabled, they could try out with Docker.
Not sure they understood your question. I showed two ways. Like
you already showed the Java thing. Okay, that's good. All right.
Yeah. So like this Tomcat prepackaged, it's a prepackaged container inside Elastic.
Okay, cool.
And it's ready to go. So you don't need to, clone your repo with Tomcat. You don't need to change this Docker file. You don't need to build it, and don't need to upload it to Docker Hub. Okay. You just choose it from the list of ready-to-go middleware stacks. And they are based on containers. It's just pure container-based platform. And you can see there are many of them. There is like Tommy, Tomcat, JT, like Whitefly, Glassfish here, GBoss, and some others. And you can choose even different JDKs here, right? So it's easier for developers. We do believe that developers should focus on coding, not on the infrastructure management, and the packaging. But let's come back to our application. So I have deployed application to our prepackaged Tomcat, and let's check it now. Let's check it now. So you can see it's our Hello World application, and it's a little bit different one. You can see right now we are at the node 2285. If we do reload, we will get to the same node because sticky session is enabled. But if we open the same URL and in incognito mode, most likely we will get to another server because load balancing works. Let's see if we are lucky. Yeah, now you can see 2287. So it means we get highly available and clustered environment for Java application. Was it easy? I do believe it was easy. So next one, let's go with Glassfish. Glassfish is even more complex stuff, right? Like because it's like Java Enterprise Edition server. So with Glassfish, when you deploy the package that I mentioned before, like clustered autoscalable Glassfish, so when you go to admin console and you get credentials to your email after provisioning, you can see inside oops, something happened with my browser. Let me reload. For some reason. You guys, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, Ruslan. No problem.
Okay, I just don't know what happened with this Glassfish administration panel.
Yeah, I think that's maybe because you're sharing your screen. The screen is too small for the panel. So
yeah, maybe let me open in another, like incognito mode. Maybe it will help.
So Guillermo is saying that he's using Amazon Beanstalk, and compared to this, it's awesome. I'm not sure if he's saying that Amazon Beanstalk is better than you, or you're better than Amazon Beanstalk. So Guillermo, can you clarify?
It's a good question. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. So yeah, you can see now my screen, and we go to like clusters. You can see we have one cluster, and we go to the nodes, and we have like local domain, local cluster. It's a DAS node. It's an administration server node, and we have two workers. We have two workers, like one node and another node. Let's go here. Actually, it will be easier to see. Yeah, so you can see we have two nodes and they are live. They are live. Now let's imagine we want to scale up our application server. So what we do, we just press this button, change environment topology, right?
Oh, Ruslan, Guillermo is saying this solution is awesome. Beanstalk sucks.
You know, it's very good to hear such kind of feedback. We were putting a lot of efforts to make it very easy to use for developers. You know, to focus on the things you know, like, because again, like, it's not easy to configure clustered environments, highly available environments, load balancing, and so on. We can cover this part. So,
right.
But
yeah. So basically, just to comment here. I think the big difference, Guillermo, it's the thing that Amazon Beanstalk does not use containers. So basically, what it does, it creates virtual machines for your application, and in the end, you still have to manage servers, right? And with this solution, when you're moving to a full container solution like this one here, what happens is that you do not manage servers anymore. You're actually just managing containers, and you don't even need to manage them. You know, you just create containers, you destroy containers. It's a much easier platform for developers.
Yeah, thank you, Bruno, for clarification. Yeah, you just manage buttons here. So, and again, I want to add one more server. I just press press plus button, and press apply. And we need to wait a little bit. But what will happen? So Jelastic will provision a new container. And after that containers will be automatically connected to Glassfish administrator node. Because Glassfish has like administration node that manages nodes, worker nodes. So all this stuff will be done automatically. So you don't need to worry about this. And even more, again, like if you configure autoscaling and that package that we installed, this package comes already with pre-configured auto-scaling based on memory usage. Yeah, let me show. So when memory usage will be higher than threshold, platform will automatically add and reconfigure the cluster, add one more node and reconfigure the cluster. Good. That was demo based on Glassfish. What kind of else stacks for Java developers we have? Interesting stacks. If you want to go with microservices, I do recommend to check like Payara Micro solution. We have several packages like cluster based on multicast, simple cluster, and advanced cluster. So what advanced cluster provide? I will install this one. So advanced cluster provides like two servers for your application, one container, for load balancing, and one container with storage. So you can store your data inside the container. And it's again like already pre-configured. You just can use it for your real applications. There is also auto-scalable Tommy EE cluster and different kind of database clusters. Good. So any questions so far? If you can ask me questions.
Ruslan, Guillermo is asking, he has a data, there's several questions. So first question, I have a database on Amazon and I want to use these massive grids as a front end. How can I configure Tomcat cluster to access Amazon EC2 instance with the database? Can you do that?
Yes, you can do. So in your configurations file, I mean like database URL, because you access to database through IP address or through domain, right? So you just specify IP address or domain of your database in Amazon. Most likely you will need to configure firewall to make it accessible outside of Amazon, or to configure VPN between Massive Grid and Amazon. It is possible to do. If you are struggling for some reason with this, just drop a message to support at gelastic.com, and our team will be happy to help you.
Okay. Yes. He says that he has a VPC. So so Guillermo, you can ask over email and they can help you out if you can't do it. But
it is quite easy. Again, you just change like IP address or your URL to your database. You connect through that always.
Yeah. So just so you know, Guillermo, I'm running some my stuff on Gelastic, and I have things running on Amazon, on Azure, and I connect to all those things. That's not a problem.
Yeah, actually, what we do, maybe I can show another cool thing. We have like demo cluster, right, where we use different clouds in one panel. It means you can use one cloud for like development. Maybe it's not the best infrastructure, right? Like, but it's cheap, could be cheap, or you can deploy to cloud with more advanced infrastructure and get benefits from that. So I will show just another portal with Gelastic. Yeah.
So let me understand. What you're showing here is that you're showing a Gelastic cluster that's distributed to multiple clouds, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So you can see we have the Azure, we have Amazon, Azure. There is a couple regions for internal testing. We have like OVH, 3 regions. We have Profit Bricks, and we have one region in the US. Probably it's Profit Bricks as well. Mm-hmm. And it's deployed on top of bare metal hardware and on top of VMs.
So let me ask one thing, Ruslan. There's a couple more questions I'm going to ask here, but Guillermo said if he wants to use this massivegrid.com as a front end, but you're actually showing several data centers here somewhere. So does Elastic supports multiple? I mean, is Massive Grids the only data center you can use, or you can use multiple data centers?
Massive Grid is a great service provider, which is has 3 regions at the moment in US, UK, and Singapore. But we have about 52 locations, 54 data center locations now in 28 countries. So, I mean, we have like many different partners in different countries, and you can go to gelastic.cloud and filter by region or by, let's say, like quality of support, quality of hardware, maybe some specifics like by pricing and so on.
Okay. So very cool, very cool. So Ruslan, there's 2 questions here. So I just put gelastic.cloud on the link. And so Tatiana, so just so you all know, Tatiana is telling me that she went to everyone that they registered on the cloud today, right? So everyone that registered in the last hour, she went by hand and she put you into the correct group. So now you have access to Docker, right? So if you didn't have access to Docker before, now you have access to Docker. So if you want to retry those things, you can do it right now, okay? So Ruslan, there's 2 more questions here. I think they're the same question. Ganesh and Wender, they asked about automation. So Ganesh asked, can you have a demo of integration of Jenkins? And Wender asked, is there some way to automate this container creation process instead of clicking on buttons? So I think both are talking about automation. So can you talk us a little bit about automation?
Yeah, we use automation heavily for deploying the certified containers. What we figure out is a good solution could be to use GitLab and integrate it with Docker Hub. So you can go to you can provision your GitLab here in Elastic and configure it for automatic deployments to GitHub, and after that you can specify or configure hooks when new image is pushed to Hub registry. Hook will call Elastic platform, and Elastic platform will redeploy application or will create new environment for your application. So based it on your needs. We have how-to tutorials. I mean, how to configure this, and it's possible to do. And actually, another option, if you want to do something simpler, but to have some kind of integration with your source code, you can do the following. Let me show. You can go to Marketplace and click Add-ons. Okay, Add-ons. And choose this Git push deploy add-on. So it was specifically designed for Java applications. And actually, let's do that. So what you do? You copy. For example, I have a demo application, this Hello World, right? I copy link to this demo application. I passed it in Massive Grid account. Yeah. Here, right? I specify the branch, I specify the user, and I need to create one time. I need to create token to get access to the repo. So I go to my settings profile at GitHub, like personal access token, and I generate new token. I specify my password, and yep. So like webinar number 3, let's say, and I check 2 checkboxes. Like first one, like repo. And another one is admin repo hooks. So it will allow me to create hooks automatically. I generate the token. I copy this token, and I pass this token to this add-on. And I choose environment to which I want to deploy. So let's deploy it to Tomcat. And I press button install. So what will happen? Jelastic will automatically create container with Maven node. It will configure this Maven node for and connect this Maven node to our repo in the GitHub I showed before, and it will also add Git hook to my repo. And when I do a commit, for example, the Git hook will redeploy application automatically in Jelastic. So at the end, it's quite easy. So you do some code change locally or in the web, and you commit it, and in like a minute or even less, it will be available in the cloud. So with everything, like redeployment and yeah. This is one option, again, one of the options. And CI/CD, it's quite wide topic. So there are many different options. You can use Jenkins, and there is an option to install Jenkins. Let me see. It should be here. Yeah, I see Jenkins. So you can install Jenkins, write in Jelastic. Of course, you will need to go inside and configure some scripts, but we have how to configure it, and it's not really hard. So,
yeah. So Tatiana just put on the chat on the side the log, the article should do exactly this step by step.
Yeah, good. Also, again, I do recommend to check GitLab solution if you want to build Docker images. It's very useful for Docker images and to store your source code together with some kind of pipelines. It became very, very advanced. Okay, good.
Okay. So Ruslan, we only have a few more minutes. But let me see if there's any more questions. But let me just kind of tell you, everyone. So as I told you before, I twisted Ruslan's arm, and so he prepared this. Actually, Tatiana, that's online with us, right? She prepared a very, very cool container course that will teach you, about Docker, about containers, about automation, about all kinds of things. It's completely free, right? And it's going to be a series of emails that you can get, right? So it's going to be a 1 week container course. It's going to start next Monday, right? I'm going to send an email later to everyone. It's going to start next Monday, and it's going to be a full week email course. You're going to receive emails every day, so you can actually learn containers on your pace. At your home with, everything's free. So if you want to go ahead and take benefits from that, I just recommend that. It's going to be, as Ruslan said before, learning containers is very, very important for developers, and it's at the moment right now. So the more we have access to material, the better. So just if there's any more questions, but let me just kind of put these. So Tatiana is saying that it's going to start I thought it was going to start Monday, but she's saying that it's going to start today. If you register, you start getting your container classes today, right? So you can go ahead and just click there and register for it if you want. Okay, and let me tell you what, you already click it on the platform, so you already have the trial account that has access to Docker, and then you're going to have this free course. You can follow the free course on on the same training, right? So, you know, everything's free for you. A good moment for you to learn containers. So Ruslan, I don't see, well, Ursula is saying, thanks for this, really cool. It allowed me to understand how this works. Yeah, so why do you think it's very important for people to understand how containers work, Ruslan?
As I mentioned, as containers get bigger and bigger traction in time, you don't want to be out of market. You know, like you want to be highly professional, highly advanced developer. So it will help you to be, you know, in trends and, you know, to earn money and actually enjoy life and speed up development process. Containers help save your time and efforts.
Okay, that's very good. So, all right. So it looks like I'm terrible. Okay, so now click on the page on the side, register now. It's gonna take you to a page that says it should say free online Java course on the page. Okay, so you know, just scroll down the page a little bit. It's gonna say free online Java course. So Ruslan, I've got one more question for you. But there's a lot of people talking about, you know, that Java is not great for containers. Do you think that Java and containers are a good match?
Can you tell me why they say why Java is not good? So do you know?
People say Java is not good for everything, right? so just tell me why Java and containers are a good thing.
So you answered your question. Actually, there are haters, you know, and lovers. Like, so some people hate Java. They will say like everything is bad, like, you know. But Java is great for containers, and specifically new release like Java 9, as it's coming with new and awesome garbage collector, which is enabled by default. And ergonomic of this garbage collector is much better, and it's much more elastic. It works with containers just perfect. There are some things you need to know before you deploy your Java applications to production. People figure out there is an issue with memory limits calculation because Java, you know, like Java have some ergonomic of memory management, and Java checks how much resources are available for in operation system, and it takes some part from it. But it's not an issue of Java. It was issue of like containers, because they don't do like right, let's say, virtualization specifically for these limits, and any kind of application can be affected by this. So there is a solution for that. If you specifically for Java, it's easy to fix. You just specify exact amount of RAM you want to allocate for your JVM, and that's it. It works fine. So we are working on clarification, on a deep clarification of this issue, and are going to publish. We already published a couple articles, and next one is coming soon, and we will explain why Java is great for containers, and how to cook it right to get the best outcome from this.
Excellent. And do you think that you know, the containers market, it's already mature? It's just starting. You know, what should we see going forward, right? Do you expect a lot of innovation the next few years, or how do you see that?
I do expect a lot of innovation still. So it is mature, let's say in this way. It is mature because, as you mentioned, we are using containers already 5 years, right? Like, so, and even before us, people use it like longer, like 10, 15 years. Yeah. It was just not available for many people. It was useful for a specific niche, but smart guys, figure out, okay, it can be useful for developers, right? For DevOps guys, for DevOps teams, for ops teams. So they change it on like sphere, like niche of usage of these containers, I can say. And this is why we see a lot of innovations the last 3 years. And more will even come because people realize new opportunities. People try to implement new stuff, right? So they improve solution and they put some new things. Of course, it might break some backward compatibilities, but it gives much more for the future development. Definitely, it saves time. It's the most important.
Okay.
So again, just to repeat, I do believe containers are mature, and I'm sure we will see even more innovations soon in this area. Okay,
cool, excellent. All right, so for everyone here, I'd like to thank you for joining. We are on top of the hour now. I mean, we are supposed to do 1 hour and a half. We're a little bit over now, and thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks everyone for joining us for the live tours. Thanks a lot, Ruslan, for being here. And so Ruslan, thanks a lot. Do you want to say goodbye?
Thank you, Bruno. Thank you, everyone, for questions, for coming to this webinar. And play with containers, learn, upgrade your experience, and again, enjoy the life.
Right. Thanks very much. And once more, take this offer. It's going to be a great training course right here to the side, right? So just click on the offer right here. It's going to be a great training course. It's a few emails. And as Ruslan said, containers is one of the most important things that we developers should be learning right now. It opens the doors for many things. It opens the door for microservices. It opens the doors for DevOps. It opens the door for all kinds of cool automation. So the more you learn about it, the better developer you're going to be in the coming years, because the coming years is going to be a whole lot of containers. Okay, so thanks very much. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks a lot, Ruslan.
Thank you, Bruno. Good luck.